Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This episode 920 and Doubleshot number 814. I have one Batman trade and one loosely Batman-related trade. Okay. First up, it's Batman Knightfall Volume 1. Yeah, the cover of the trade is basically from Batman number 497, where yes, that was the issue where Bane broke Batman's back. This book collects, believe it or not, this is what the thing collects. It mostly collects most of the same thing of the original book released back in the late 90s. It collects Detective Comics 659 to 663 and Detective Comics 492 to 497. It also contains a story from Batman Secret Files number 1, released back in 1998. Yeah, this is the first half of the Knightfall saga, where at the start of this, you have Bane breaking out all the villains from Blackgate and Arkham, and Batman has spent a good period of time basically capturing his criminals. He does succeed, even though he's pretty much exhausted. There's that one point in here, though they do also the cover in here, so this was a little weird. Yeah, there's a cover where Batman is basically, this is before he was joined with John Paul Valley, where on the cover it looked like he had a piece of 2x4 with 2 nails in it, and he's about to whack somebody with it, and here they changed to a bat. I have no idea why they wanted to do that for, but they did. And of course, with 500 coming up, some people probably predicted that the breaking of Batman's back would happen in 500. Nope, that actually happened in 497. By the way, the cover itself has actually been homaged twice over the years. The first time was actually an issue of Azrael, where they replaced Batman with Azrael, and the cover has also been homaged with Batman the Dark Knight Volume 2, number 6. Yeah, there's those times I can personally think of a Batman of Bane breaking someone's back the way he does in here. Yeah, though here's the thing. You probably think, why is there a story from Batman Secret Files Origins number 1? There's a very good reason for that. It kind of explains how Bane actually found Wayne Manor, because I'm sure for a lot of people, when they first read the story, like, it was never revealed in the story of how in the world Bane even got there. And here, apparently he's able to find Wayne Manor, break in, have a brief scuffle with Alfred, and of course that leads into what happened in the actual issue. It's kind of basically in between story, but it's good they threw this in here because this story never collected before. That's the other thing new I can basically say that they added new for this particular one, because it's the same thing as the original book, which I do own, which had the same cover, like the same picture, but it's a slightly different image that they use. They actually have background here. The original one didn't have background, just basically was just, well, that color. Also, I forgot to point this out during my review of Prelude, where you see this thing, this bat logo. Yeah, for some reason they did the same thing also with Death of Superman, where they have these connecting trade spines. So I guess they said, okay, that worked well for Death of Superman. Let's do the same thing for Knightfall. As far as I can tell, these are the only two stories they probably do it for, because, well, the only story they probably could do it for is maybe No Man's Land, but that's it, because DC doesn't have many storylines that stretch as long as this. This went on for a whole year. Yeah. But this, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Seeing Batman going nuts is actually really interesting. Azrael basically doing some stuff. Well, Jean Paul Valley in a makeshift costume that he wears up until he takes his mantle of Batman. Though he does also the costume. He actually gets to fight Bane, which is quite interesting. Oh, in case you're wondering, like, does Batman get back at Bane for what happened here once he gets back the mantle of Batman? Not during this saga. No, this actually does not happen until till the storyline Legacy, which I spoke to Dixon about that story. It's one of his favorite storylines he ever did, aside from this one. This is actually really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, and there's only about 7 more volumes left that I have to get in order to get all 9 volumes, which they actually released last volume just last month. Here's the only ones that are left. You have volume 2 of this, the 2 volumes of Night Quest, The Crusade, Night Quest, The Search, Night's End, Prodigal, and Traka. Oh yeah, I actually got this when I went to Barnes & Noble last, because I actually got a $25 gift card, and this thing only costs like $9.99 for a book that's this thick. Yeah, and it's great to pick this up. hmm And speaking of Batman, let's talk. Oh, wait, I almost forgot who was the writer and artist for this thing. Okay, yeah, I completely forgot about this. Oh yeah, and the brawl in the back, yeah, that was really amazing. Fortnite's basically tear out the place. The writers of the issues, of course, Doug Moak does Batman, Chuck Dixon does Ted Comics like usual. Matter of fact, Doug Moak actually wrote the issue where Bane broke Batman's back. The writers in here, the artists in here are Graham Nolan, the late Jim Aparo, the late Norm Brayfog, he actually passed away just last year, and Jim Ballant. One of the inkers in here is Tom Mandrake, who was actually one of the artists from the last trade. The cover is done by Kelly Jones and Alan Pazook. Yeah, even though they say that Doug Moak basically, my guess is the reason why they give Doug Moak credit because he did basically create himself for this character, and he probably was one who helped conceive along with Chuck Dixon. Yeah. Next up is a book from one of the famous artists of Batman, Neil Adams. Deadman! Which, by the way, this actually was a miniseries started late in 2017, wrapped up last year. 6-issue miniseries, which is, according to Neil Adams, though I didn't exactly read this, I didn't notice this until he pointed out to me, this actually is a follow-up to Batman Odyssey, which, that's interesting. Mostly it's just Boston Brand just trying to investigate his own murder, and of course he has basically teamed up with a bunch of DC supernatural characters. Yeah, he meets up in here with the Phantom Stranger, Santana, the Spectre, I don't think who else, Etrigan the Demon, which I thought that was interesting, Etrigan the Demon. Oh, and by the way, just by sheer coincidence, when this miniseries started, it was the 50th anniversary of this character. Plus, Etrigan had his own miniseries published this period of time. And yeah, now those of you who probably noticed the cover. Batman on the cover. Yeah, he doesn't show up at issue 6. Yeah, and also because it's Neil Adams. Okay, when you think of Neil Adams, okay, aside from Batman, what other character loves show up in his books? Why, Ra's al Ghul. Because he created him. That's the reason why. Also, the start of the story, because it's loosely Batman related, Deadman possesses Jim Gordon for the first couple of issues. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but he did. Yeah. And there's one character he really likes, aside from, well, Man-Bat. Man-Bat, surprisingly, is not in here. Yeah, that's something a little weird. I mean, he was featured in Batman Odyssey for a few issues, but he's not featured here. Because I figured, though, like Ra's, Neil Adams did create him, and yet he's not in this miniseries. Yeah, the only reason I can think of why Neil Adams did this miniseries because Neil Adams drew his first cover appearance. And plus, not only that, that was pretty much that was the start of his career, so it's quite nice for him to go back to where he started from, which is really good. Though, of course, there's going to be a follow-up miniseries to this, and of course, Neil Adams did confirm this when I spoke to him about it, second last time I saw him, that the following miniseries is going to be called Batman Demigod's War. That's basically going to be the follow-up to this. Yeah, and also we also see his brother Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland. Cleveland Brand. Yeah, apparently their parents, I think, for naming their kids after cities. Deadman's real name is Boston. Boston Brand. While his brother is Cleveland Brand, and his other brother's name is Aaron. Yeah, that's particularly very weird. Also, the thing with Cleveland is the reason why he's able to basically get away with possessing him because, well, Cleveland is his twin brother. Yep. And of course, there are shocking revelations about, well, what happened with his death. In fact, Ra's had somehow been behind it. Maybe behind the death of the character known as the Sensei. Yeah. And they only give one credit for Deadman here, and that's Arnold Drake. Yeah. Despite the fact that Carmine Infantino also had a hand in creating Deadman, and yet, for some reason, he is not listed as creator. Now, those of you probably thinking, okay, is there any other character aside from Deadman? And you think that Arnold Drake is known for creating in comic books? Well, he created the Doom Patrol. Well, he created this. And, let's see. He also had unofficial credit in creating the Teen Titans. And that's it. As for Carmine Infantino, well, he created Phantom Stranger, Reverse Flash, several of the Flash villains. He also created Detective Chimp. And he also created this guy too. This, of course, is a really good miniseries, so it's lots of talking, but I don't mind it. But it does basically drive the series forward, which is quite nice. I'm gonna give this book roughly a 9.5. I think it's really good. Not much to say, but yeah. Now I'm surprised though you have a series from a Neil Adams. Now Adams told me one of his favorite characters is he loves Detective Chimp a little bit more than Man Bat. But I'm surprised he didn't feature in this miniseries. Yeah, maybe it's gonna feature in the following one. Who knows? I have not heard of a release date on Batman Demigods. Not at all. I mean, Neil Adams confirmed to me that the series does exist and he's going to work on it soon. And when I see him in May, I'm going to get him to sign this. And I'm sure he'll be very happy to sign this because, now, I love Neil Adams' work. I really do. This is probably by far the second Neil Adams series I've actually bought. The last one I bought was Batman Odyssey, which I have done a review of that, and Neil Adams himself has signed it. This is the second one, but it's not the only books I own, basically, that Neil Adams has done that collect his work. I also have the second volume of Neil Adams Illustrated, which I got that signed the last time I saw him, which is why I've actually kind of mistaken it for me for purchasing the book there, even though I was telling her, yeah, I was actually just giving money for an autograph. Yeah. But I just have, let's see what's going on with him. But I would say the biggest thing I got away from when I was talking to him last was him basically telling me that he created the Terminator Simulator ride. Yeah. Yeah, so that's really it for this particular. I'm just a little shorter than the last Comic Corner I did, but yeah. I don't want to spoil too much of Knightfall because it's just really damn good. Though one person I disagree with him on this, and this is Dr. Lemon. I haven't seen him post a video in a long time. Yeah, he describes this event as overrated. The only other person I've seen review this particular storyline is Bat Josh. He's the only I know who's actually has reviewed this thing, and I believe there's one other person, and that's Andrew Cutter. Yeah, so I've seen roughly 3 people review Knightfall beside myself. I haven't heard anybody else review it, but I thoroughly enjoy reading Knightfall. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of the stuff in trade. So yeah. So yeah, I have so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review of Baruto and maybe my review of season 10 of Case Closed. Okay, I'll see you in the next review. Bye.